this moment to thank those who have worked to make this nationally now recognized series a reality. I would like to thank the California School Library Association, the California Department of Education, the California Technology Assistance Program, otherwise known as CTAP, the San Diego County Office of Education, and the Orange County Department of Education for their support and help in helping to formulate this series. A special thanks, noteworthy thanks, the Tulare County Office of Education. Thank you, Beth. And last but not least, the Madera County Office of Education and their superintendent, Cecilia Massetti, for providing the Adobe Connect platform. This is where, if we were in a face-to-face context, I would say applause, applause. So I will be the one to supply that. So, in our Information Digital Literacy Essentials series, we have heard in the past sessions from the following. We've heard from the California State Superintendent's Office of Public Instruction, and then we heard from the Office of the California State Attorney General. Following that, which just last week, we heard from educational leaders representing all of California University of California campuses, and a unique perspective from the California State University system as well. But today, I feel like we should start off with some music that says, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? But it's not Carmen Sandiego, it's Brenda Kempsner. She is the president and founder of the Kempner Group. She is also an advocate of digital literacy and has participated in many national and international committees related to information and communications technology policy and digital literacy framework development. She has served as a business chair for the National Coalition for Technology and Education and Training, a role in which she has assisted the White House in developing educational technology policy and strategic alliances for national information infrastructure. Other than that, Brenda, what have you done lately?
I'm resting. How about that?
So where are you?
Well, today I'm in Central America with the Link Americas Foundation, and hopefully you can hear me and there's not too much of a time delay on the audio. Am I coming in clear?
You sound marvelous. There is a slight delay of about 3 to 4 seconds. So when do you, so for our audience, our participants today, I want to be clear that when you hear a little bit of a gap or airspace, that's only because we're now, for the first time, this one's of our series is actually international. All the previous ones have all been within the state of California, but this one's unique because we're now not only outside of California, we're coming from an international perspective. So think of it kind of like a satellite time delay between somebody who's a correspondent in across the globe and for the nightly news or something like that. Now, Brenda, to kick us off, can you give us a little bit of well, you know what? Why don't we just dive right into your presentation? Because I think, as I recall, your presentation gives us a little bit of background of where you've been and what you've done. So take it away.
Okay, thanks, Glenn, and thank you for having me today on the series. I think the series is terrific, and hopefully it will enable what Link Americas Foundation is all about, which is advancing technology, serving humanity, and particularly in the area of digital literacy. And just to put it sort of into perspective on what I'll speak about today, I'm going to focus on one of Link America's flagship projects, which is the iCalifornia Digital Literacy Initiative. But Link America's foundation itself has been around for about 15 years, and during that time, we've really had a mission of technology serving humanity in the areas of life, information, nature, and knowledge, hence the link. And then the Americas is because our focus is the region of the Americas all the way from Canada down through the tip of Argentina. So over the last decade or so, we have had technology projects, primarily digital literacy, in those areas. So today, I guess geographically, it's a nice place to be, Latin America and Central America, because that's sort of geographically pinpointed right in the middle of our serving area. So I put on this first slide the link to our website so that when you get a chance you can click through and see some of the projects that we are involved in and some of the things that we've done, and hopefully the audience today will get engaged in that as well. The iCalifornia project is one that has been about 5 years in the making, and it came together with really three key groups, like I say, about 5 years ago: the California Emerging Technology Fund, the California Technology Agency, and the Link Americas Foundation. And initially, the California Emerging Technology Fund focused on the policy part of the iCalifornia initiative, which involved getting in place in California an executive order. And I'll take you to my next slide, where you can see sort of the two key building blocks, if you will, of the iCalifornia effort are an executive order, which was signed in '09 by former Governor Schwarzenegger, and then this administration adopted that same executive order, language and so forth, moving it forward with the current administration under the auspices of the California Technology Agency. And Secretary Carlos Ramos has been navigating, if you will, the advancement of the principles in the executive order, which really focus on every Californian being digitally literate in areas that are important to our lives, whether that is education, job skills, entertainment, and the kind of things that you do in recreational activities, health and wellness, and so forth. And if you link through to that link, you will be able to read in total the language of the executive order. I didn't put it up here because of our shortness of time today, but I do have references post the webcast today that folks can go to. The other main building block of the iCalifornia initiative is the framework, the California Framework of Basic Digital Literacy Skills. And this is the part that the Link Americas Foundation worked in tandem with CETF to pull together. And it's not new to probably many of you, particularly from the California School Library Association or the California Public Libraries, because it is in sync. The digital literacy skills framework is in sync with national frameworks that have come out of American Library Association, and also international frameworks of digital literacy skills that have been produced by other international bodies, be it OECD or ETS and so forth, because we felt as we worked through this policy process that it was very important that California's basic framework focused on citizens in a global society. So what we've done with both of these orders is make sure that California not only is leading the effort in terms of making digital literacy a priority, but also that it's in tandem with other efforts that are going on globally that promote the kinds of things that California needs to do economically, educationally, and socially. So after the order was signed in '09 by the governor, the California Technology Agency put together a task force that worked out an action plan for the state. And all the agencies in the state, Department of Ed included, and the post-secondary institutions and membership for many of the K-12 school districts participated in the action plan, which defines a number of goals over years that California will strive to attain in order to make all of the citizens in the state digitally literate. And in fact, I think that is where Glenn and I actually intersected on digital literacy a couple of years ago, as you were part of that effort, Glenn, I believe, for the California School Library Association. So coming out of the action plan, which, by the way, you can also find on the Link Americas Foundation website. If you just click on the license plate, the iCalifornia license plate is the logo for the initiative, and it's on our website. And if you click on that, you will find all these resources that I'm referencing, be it the executive order, the framework, and the action plan itself. So one of the things in the action plan was to engage in a sort of a public outreach campaign that would inform the citizens of the state why digital literacy is important and engage them in ways to acquire the necessary digital literacy skills that they needed. So Link Americas is sort of the navigator, if you will, of that part of the effort now, in tandem with both CTA and CETF. And what we have put in place as sort of the flagship project of iCalifornia is a program called Technology, Resource, and Internet Literacy, affectionately known as TRAIL. And TRAIL is a project in collaboration with the California State Library. So Link Americas Foundation and State Library have, over the last 2 years then, as a result of the action plan, thought about how do we engage people in innovative ways to use technology to transform their lives. So TRAIL, and I guess the genesis of it was actually the state librarian at that time came to us and she said, you know, the number one question that we're getting in public libraries around the state is how do I get on the internet and use the internet to find a job? And that really sparked our thinking because, you know, most of the employers now, particularly the big employers, do not have paper job applications. They tell people that are looking for a job, well, go home and apply at our website and fill out an application there. And while that sounds pretty simple, you know, there's just so many people that had no idea how to do that, didn't have access, and they were going to their local librarians to help them out. So we envisioned a trail, and if you can imagine trail, the concept is that we have this trail of exploration, kind of like a discovery trail, if you will, and on this trail are lots of different pathways. And as you want to hop on the trail and get to your destination, you pick a scout that would guide you to the outcome that you want. So that was sort of our thinking as we embarked on this. And because of the inquiries that were coming to the public librarians, we decided our first scout on the trail would be Job Scout. And that's what I'm going to focus on my time today, would be Job Scout. Although in the big picture of things, you know, there's lots of scouts on the trail. There'll be Health Scout and Civic Scout and Finance Scout and Vet Scout and so forth. But for purposes of demonstration, we'll talk about where we are with Job Scout. So as I said, we found that, you know, so many people, actually 1 in 5 Americans are not digitally literate and don't know how to use the internet. And when we say 20% don't know how to use the internet, we say that they don't know how to use the internet in ways that are, you know, important in their lives, how to search Google for the kind of information they need, how to navigate to information about health and wellness, for example. About 20% of them cannot check, for example, online, a movie time or make a purchase online, or even just connect with friends and family members using internet, whether it's social networking like Facebook or something like that. And definitely, we know from the research that we've been doing with Job Scout over the last couple of years that they cannot find a job online. They don't know how to go through the databases, go through the job postings, put together a resume, and submit it to a potential employer. So basically, as I said before, they were coming into the libraries and asking us how to do that for them, or help them find work. So Job Scout was born, and the basic idea is that folks would be able to take some lessons, earn some badges, and then ultimately find work. And the approach was to provide the lessons and the core curriculum so that it was mapped to all of those digital literacy skills that I mentioned earlier in the California framework for digital literacy. So what we have with Job Scout is that we are looking at teaching internet skills mapped to the California framework, but in an engaging way, using social gaming, gamification kinds of applications and so forth, but all with the ultimate outcome of finding that user a job. So, and I'm sorry, my telephone is ringing. I have to take that. I'm sorry, I lost my thought because my telephone rang in the office here. So if you go to myjobscout.org, you would be able to sign on and go through our lessons, which there are about 40 lessons that are self-paced and provide
It appears that we may have lost Brenda's audio. We'll wait to see if she can reappear. Just please stand. While we're waiting for Brenda to reappear, she has pointed out so far that Job Scout is a statewide initiative that is there for Californians to be able to find a job. And this is obviously a very important piece of the larger picture because, the discussions in schools have been, well, what does feeding children have to do with school? What does breakfast programs have to do with school? Well, what does having their parents be able to have a job have to do with school? We do know that we want kids to have a connection to the internet. We want kids to be able to.
Sorry to interrupt, Glenn.
Yes.
Hi.
Yes.
Sorry. This is the quiet Sam normally that's hiding in the room. I have our presenter on the phone ready to go continue her conversation.
Well, I will take my tap dancing shoes off right now and let her get right back to where she started, or where she left.
Okay, give me one moment and put her on speaker. Okay, are you there, Brenda?
Hi, yes. Hi, Glenn. Can you hear me again?
Yes, I certainly can. You sound 20th century, but you.
Okay, I can barely hear you. That's unfortunate. It's one of the infrastructure issues in the developing countries. Out.
Well, go ahead and.
Can you hear me, Sam?
Yes, I can.
Yes. And can they hear me on the webcast?
Yes.
If Glenn will advance the slides to the one that begins Job Scouts age group, I'll pick up there.
All right, you're good to go. Job Scouts age group.
Great. Okay, I apologize, everybody, for the breakup and the delay. Sometimes we have challenges in the developing countries with the infrastructure. But let me continue with this slide that it gives you a little bit of background on what our thinking was with the Job Scout itself. And like I said earlier, after the webcast, you can go to myjobscout.org and access the lessons and play the games and earn some of the badges that you'll see that you can do there for completion of the lessons. The idea is to have a user, whether it be in Job Scout or the future Health Scout, Civic Scout, and so forth, is as they work through earning badges, and once they get all their badges at the end of the day, then they will have completed all of the competencies on that basic digital literacy skills framework. So that's the idea of it. And when we began with Job Scout, we anticipated that the user age group would range from about 19 to 60 years old. And that was kind of based on what librarians were telling us about the young adults in community colleges age, for example, or post-high school age that were coming into the library and looking for jobs, and then the older adults in the reentry job market. But actually what we found is that, and we're into this about a year and a half now, is that the age group is actually more like 15 years all the way up to 80 plus, because we're getting a lot of high school age kids that are looking for their first job, for example, and have to fill out an online job application. And then we're also getting seniors that perhaps are not looking for a job, but they want the basic digital literacy skills that some of the lessons have to offer, so that they can social network, for example, with their grandchildren and so forth. So as we bring out new versions of Job Scout, which there will be a version 2.0 this year, we will make accommodation for that to expand it to a broader age group. So next slide, Glenn, please.
You got
We're good.
Okay, so like I mentioned before, some of the features of Job Scouts are, and this is for the whole trail program, is that we provide now, the services is free. The application and service is free, and any user, whether they're in a public library or even using it on a smartphone, can access the core curriculum and earn the badges. There's no cost for that. And our team gives in service to all of the state librarians, so that if people walk into the library, the librarians are able to provide support if they're really, a first-time user from the internet, for the internet. And the idea is that they would get an initial introduction to it from a librarian, because we don't want to bottleneck the libraries, and then they would go home or find the applications on their smartphone. And we did launch earlier this year in the Job Scout applications in iOS, and it's available as a downloadable app in the iTunes store. And it will be launched in Android later this year. We're also working with several school districts now around the state that are starting to incorporate it into high school job training as well. So, and we've implemented something that librarians were asking for once we really got into this, and we're quite excited about it. It's called the easy-to-use dashboard, where we can actually capture data now on how a user is progressing through it, what badges they're earning, where they're having problems with mastering the skills and so forth, and when they're all the way through it, and they've become a job scouter, so to speak, how we can integrate that as an asset, for example, in their resume. As I previously said, this is all integrated and mapped to the California framework. So next slide, Glenn. And I'm going down at the same time here on my computer since I don't have internet access to find it with you. Okay, so some of the applications in the Job Scout as they're working through the trail is this resume builder, which librarians are telling us is the most popular of the applications. We're even getting some post-secondary techie users come to the Job Scout site just for the resume builder. They'll skip the initial digital literacy skills and go right to sort of this one-stop job assistance section of it. And it helps the user then navigate through jobs that are available geographically by job selection and so forth, and also in a gamification environment and a self-paced way, fill out the job template, the job resume template that we have there with all of their information on it and so forth. And we actually, then they can save that and print it out as their job resume with a cover letter that we can provide them the 1, 2, 3 steps on. And now the site also will allow them to have us, if they like, submit that resume to a potential job search that they have come up with within the site. So it's really pretty cool. And we also have a way for them to earn a badge in social network use, and we have an internal social network that they can sign up for, practice on, that is not public and gives them a safe environment to do that until they feel comfortable before they go out into the real world of social networking and so forth. And then lastly, the fact that they can actually do a job search. Now, having said all that in the context of Job Scout, keep in mind that our intent is not to be a job referral agency or anything like that, or to replace job services and that. But it is our primary goal is to advance digital literacy skills for people that finding a job is the #1 priority. So we sort of, if you will, like kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We provide them with the digital literacy skills they'll need in the workforce, and at the same time, navigating them to job opportunities. Okay, next slide, Glenn. Let's see where I am. Are you on the social gaming to incentivize and create a useful education experience?
One-stop job shop.
One-stop job shop. Let me see. Okay, where I am. Okay. Well, I kind of covered that. That was basically what I had mentioned, that we did launch this year, the feature that has the full management tools to not only create the job, but then search the job and directly from our Job Scouts site. And we mine different career ladder, monster.com and so forth, the public sector jobs, so that they're all there for the Job Scouter in that regard. And by the way, this last quarter, we went into our pilot phase with Job Scout Spanish. And so we right now have up and down the state dozens of organizations that are in pilot now, testing the Spanish version of this, and we're hoping by fourth quarter that we will launch it publicly. Okay, next slide, please.
Okay, we're on social gaming and incentive and creative useful education experience.
Correct. And so each time you complete a lesson, one of the core lessons, you earn a badge. So this one is for the Google. We have the Google badge. And basically we teach you about Google, how to set up a Gmail account, how to do research with Google on search engine and so forth, and if you're successful with all of the activities on there, you earn a Google badge for your draw. And in your badge drawer you can have Google, we have Facebook, we have LinkedIn, we have TaskRabbit, there's numbers of them, and the users of it, as they get their badges, they get quite excited about it, and actually then, join the social network that we have on there and talk about and trade badges and so forth. So it's kind of a neat thing to do. And our badge system for this project trail was chosen as a finalist this year in the Mozilla Foundation National Media Award. So we're pretty proud of both the artwork and the system itself. And then, as I mentioned before, it's a gaming environment for earning the skills. And we think this is really important, particularly in the mobile technology, as we're moving, to have all of this in downloadable apps, because we believe that, the user base that we're targeting will really be excited and engaged in, bringing this up on their mobile phone, and that way, our hopefully we'll be able to penetrate a lot broader user base in California to want to acquire digital literacy skills. All the lessons, all of the activities in there are designed to take maybe like about 15 or 20 minutes, so that if you're at a library terminal, you can go in and perhaps, get a badge with 20 minutes to half an hour, which seems to be the usual time that someone has on a library computer. And then also, if you're a student or you're on the bus, you're going from somewhere or so forth, you have enough time within that time frame to complete a badge. And then if you'll just go, I think I've got one or two more slides that should be there. One is our game plan slide. Do you have that?
We have social gaming.
Then click to the next one, because I kind of covered that.
Support.
I think maybe I'm on next to last one, which is support. Yes. Okay, I found it. Support for all of this, as I mentioned, was, and we want to give a lot of credit to the California State Library for seeding the technology development of this. When we began about a year and a half ago, we piloted the Trail platform in 140 libraries around the state. There are over 1,000 public libraries in all of their jurisdictions, and as of January of this year, Trail Job Scout is now operational in all of the public libraries. And so we're quite excited about that. We support them with webinars like this on a regular basis, as well as we have a team that does face-to-face support when needed, and there's collateral and materials. We're very interested in looking at, besides the public libraries, other venues that we can have Job Scout in use. And so the offices of education and the school districts would be of interest to us to get some pilots going there. And then the next slide should be the game plan, Sam. And you will see that what we accomplished basically in 2012 and 2013 with Job Scout. And like I say, the big launch that we're anticipating this year on the platform will be for moving all of this into Spanish language. That's already completed. We just want to work through with sites now to make sure it's all in place before we go statewide with it. And then last slide that I have, the future of trail, basically find your path, because as I said at the beginning, we want lots of pathways on the trail depending on what your need is as a citizen and how you are most likely to become engaged in wanting to improve your digital literacy skills. So we're far along the trail pathway with Job Scout. The next one in the lineup will be Health Scout, and we're in alpha phase on that, and that will be something that will focus on gaining digital literacy skills to manage your personal health care, to find out information on enrolling in a health plan, for example. All of the information, for example, for the health plans through Covered California and so forth will most likely be online. And so we don't want to have a digital divide that you can only find out information if it's online, if you don't know how to get online and navigate that. So Health Scout is a high priority for us. And then Civic Scout, that Scout would focus on engaging people through community participation. How do they register to vote? How do they get involved with parent advisory groups? How do they become a citizen, find out information on local public works stuff or so forth? Civic Scout would guide them through all of that process. And then just in the lineup is Finance Scout as well, personal financial management, security in paying for things online. How do you pay for things online? How do I know when it's safe and so forth? These would be all of the scouts that we envision in the future. And the core curriculum, whether it be that you choose Job Scout or Civic Scout, will really sort of remain the same and mapped to that iCalifornia digital framework. It will just be that you will choose the path of most interest and most value to you. And so with that, Glenn, I'll turn it back to you and maybe be able to take some questions. But I hope that's kind of been valuable in terms of seeing where the plans for iCalifornia and our flag